Oh my god. Have you ever seen anything so absurd, yet also quite funny? I don't know what to say about this one. Hi everybody, it's the Ruthless Jobber here. Welcome back to the channel. This is episode 3 of the invasion angle using TEW 9. We're going to open tonight's Raw with a couple of pre-show matches like we tend to start doing now, I think. And it's a women's match. I want to do more with the women's division, but at the moment I'm really just kind of I am sort of focused on the invasion angle and just trying to introduce those WCW stars. Once we get that a little bit more streamlined, maybe is not the right word, but then hopefully I can sort of try and do a little bit more of the women's division. But at the moment they are kind of relegated to pre-show matches at the moment, and it's Molly Holly taking on Trish Stratus, and it says here a decent reaction from the crowd but terrible wrestling, but it's Trish that gets the win in 13 minutes 13 by pinfall. 42 wrestling, 49 crowd, 44 overall. Second pre-show match, we've got Jindrak and Stasiak from the WCW taking on Perry Saturn and Steve Blackman. Yeah, just a throwaway match really, literally just a pre-show match. Use a couple of the WCW guys. We don't want anyone getting any ring rust. Pre-show bouts, they had decent reaction from the crowd but subpar wrestling. It's Jindrak and Stasiak getting the win in 9 minutes 4 seconds when Jindrak forced Perry Saturn to submit. Perry Saturn was head and shoulders above everyone else. He's got a bit of a steroid problem at the moment, so I'm not sure if he's going to be around for too long. I kind of want to keep him around a little bit. I don't really want to be getting rid of anyone at the moment until I've sort of got the roster in the position I want. But yeah, he won't. He can't seem to shake it either. So we get a 48 rating for the wrestling, 49 for the crowd, and 57 overall. We still got the Perry Saturn and Terry on different sides of the face heel divide. Yeah, I must remember to change that. And in the final pre-show match, another WCW guy here taking on Brooklyn Brawler. So it's Brooklyn Brawler against Hugh Morris. Poor pre-show match. Hugh Morris defeated Brooklyn Brawler in 10 minutes 28 by pinfall. 51 for the wrestling, 44 for the crowd, 56 overall. Look, that wasn't the worst pre-show match. Okay, well, crowd are expectant and simmering, and we enter the proper show. Starts off with Vince McMahon cutting a promo on Ric Flair. Basically, just, I can't believe I was led into this trap of employing Ric Flair as our head of talent acquisitions, and he just goes ahead and it looks like he's signing all his pals from WCW. He sort of says that if Ric Flair wants to revive this war, this WWF, WCW war, then so be it. But I've crushed them before and I'll crush them again. We've got enough talent about us. Who's he brought in? Nobody. He's brought in a bunch of nobodies so far. Nobodies and has-beens. It won't last. Rating of 93 overall. Deserved better commentary, but apart from that, yeah, got the show off to a strong start. A couple of bits of green there for Vince. All good stuff. In the opening match, Jeff Hardy takes on X-Pac. I'm really pleased with this one. They're both around the well-known, recognisable mark. So yeah, this is superb. A bout that had good wrestling and decent reaction from the crowd. Jeff Hardy defeated X-Pac in 8 minutes 14 by pinfall, and this was our high spots match to sort of get the show going from the off. 74 rating for the wrestling, 61 for the crowd, and 79 overall. I put Jeff Hardy in a singles match, and obviously X-Pac as well, but I don't usually, if people are in a tag team, I usually just try to stick to them being in a tag team. But with Matt Hardy being the European champion, it's only right that sort of Jeff gets to have a few singles matches as well. Probably be looking at having singles runs somewhere down the line as well. Not sure when yet. They're still, very young, but yeah, we'll see eventually. Jim Ross and Paul Heyman then hype up tonight's main event, or kind of announce tonight's main event, hype it up, whatever you want to call it. And it's going to be Triple H versus Chris Benoit for the Intercontinental Championship. I forgot to add them to the angle. I know they would have only been off screen anyway, but it meant I had to remember what the main event was. Yeah, it's Chris Benoit challenging Triple H for the Intercontinental Championship. Yeah, I didn't know TEW 9 allows you to have the commentators in an angle if they're still commentating. And okay, that always made sense to me anyway, because you got that a lot. You got a lot of angles with just the commentary team hyping things up or talking about things. So I'm glad that's been implemented into this edition of the game. Yeah, and both of them did really well. 75 overall. Then we've got Ric Flair announcing some new recruits, and this time he brings out Chuck Palumbo, Sean O'Haire, the current, you can call them the last, but they've still got the belts, WCW Tag Team Champions, Chris Kanyon, or just be known as Kanyon, and Scott Steiner. This only gets to 63. I mean, these guys aren't top of the card by any stretch of the imagination. Yeah, so those four as well have entered his stable. We know, of course, but the kayfabe crowd don't. The fans don't. So, but they do now, of course. So yeah, new members for the WCW stable. Ric Flair did not do well without a script to follow. Oh, come on. Kane takes on William Regal, and this was a decent one. I like this. 79 overall, 71 for the wrestling and 75 for the crowd. Good heat and decent wrestling. Kane defeated William Regal in 14 minutes 36 by pinfall, and Kane was off his game, so it makes you wonder what could we have achieved if he was on top form. Post-match, Chris Jericho comes out, partly to taunt Regal, really. You know, you've just lost, blah, blah, blah. But then he makes a challenge. I'm challenging you to a match at Judgment Day. Regal accepts. He's just lost to Kane. He wants to sort of save face. Of course, I'll take you on any time, any place. But Jericho proposes to make the match interesting and make it a submission match. Both of these guys are quite technical wrestlers. They both have submission finishers, so yeah, why not have it as a submission match? It'll be the storyline ending match, but yeah, that'll take place at Judgment Day. 78 overall for this one, and yeah, lots of green again. Looking good so far, guys. And then we crash back down to earth with this match. K-Quick and the APA Protection, our new tag team champions, take on Right to Censor. The Godfather, Paul Buchanan, and Stephen Richards. Need to get a picture for the Godfather, or the Goodfather. Sorry, I'm surprised surprised there isn't one there. So we had a wild brawl for this one. Decent reaction from the crowd. Subpar wrestling. K-Quick and the APA defeated Right to Censor in 9 minutes 56. Bradshaw pinned Paul Buchanan. Paul Buchanan was the weak link. Okay, that's fine. We've gone through these, or did we? 51 for the wrestling. 50 for the crowd, 51 overall. Yeah, a bit of a disappointing one. I guess this match would be the, what do they call it? It's when you go for a piss. You go for a piss during this match because it's kind of nothing really. But yeah, I wanted to get a few guys on the card. So yeah, that's at the 6-man tag. A little bit of green there, and yeah, just very average, bang average ratings. Stephen Richards sustained a cauliflower ear in the match. Backstage, Scott Steiner is with some of his pals of the WCW, Buff Bagwell, Diamond Dallas Page, and of course Ric Flair. And kind of sees Eddie Guerrero walking past, and Guerrero's kind of walking a bit slow, and Scott Steiner is accusing Guerrero of spying on us. He's spying on us. He's listening to our conversation. He's trying to work out, what other plans we've got. So it's just accusing Eddie Guerrero. Eddie Guerrero, what are you talking about? I'm not spying. I'm walking. I've got a match. I'm just walking. Just trying to get to the ring, really. Rating is 75. Yeah, we're setting up a story. We're going to have Scott Steiner and Eddie Guerrero in a storyline, and this is just a way to kind of get it started in a way, I suppose. So yeah, a few green there again. I'm very pleased with the ratings so far. And it's Rhino taking on Eddie Guerrero. This is for the hardcore title, but it's Rhino that gets the win in 12 minutes 46 by submission after interference from Scott Steiner. So Scott Steiner did come in and helped Rhino, or more to the case, hindered Guerrero. Yeah, so it's Rhino that gets the win, and this is obviously just developing that storyline again slightly. It does gain heat, which is good. So the wrestling of 68, crowd 65, but 79 overall. That's really good. Very pleased with this so far. And then post-show, in a 71 rated angle, Scott Steiner just continues to beat down on Eddie Guerrero. And then we've got an outside broadcast angle. Don't do very many of these. Didn't get a great score. I didn't really expect it to. It's a 56. So Lance Storm just attacks Dean Malenko in the gym. Dean Malenko's kind of minding his own business in the gym. And yeah, just gets attacked by Lance Storm. We can kind of see Ric Flair in the background, maybe laughing or just, So it appears to be on Ric Flair's orders that Lance Storm's just gone in to attack Dean Malenko. We've got a story between those two guys as well. Just because, really. Let's get Lance Storm. So Lance Storm's obviously joined the WCW as well. Announced slightly differently to the others. So yeah, yeah, I'd say we've got a sort of just kind of like a mid card story. Again, they're both quite technical wrestlers, so I'm hoping we might be able to get a couple of technical matches out of them. They're not going to score, highly. They're not going to be the best matches in the world, but just to give us something different in our shows, we need to have 3 match aims. And Lance Storm, he actually came to me backstage a couple of shows ago. I think it might have even been Insurrection with an angle idea. We used it. Maybe we shouldn't have done. The Dudley Boys take on the Hollies. This isn't a great match either. It's kind of bang average. Wrestling rating of 56, crowd 53. Overall 68 though, which, yeah, I mean, it's okay. It's not the worst. So a decent match. The Dudley Boys defeated the Hollies in 9 minutes 21. Bubba Ray Dudley pinned Crash Holly. This was our storytelling match, but we had Diamond Dallas Page come out and distract the Dudley Boys. So just getting a little bit of that kind of, the WCW guys are just making a few appearances, just starting to get a little bit overconfident with the WWF guys. Let's come out and interfere in their matches, attack them in the gym. Just kind of there and thereabouts until the WWF guys. Eventually, the WWF guys are going to say, right, enough is enough. This is full on war. Yeah. So a little bit of green there again. Yeah, not bad. Not a bad score. 68. 2-man power trip, then cut a promo. They've just, well, it's a self promo really. It's not on anyone in particular. They just lost the belts, but they're trying to say how they cheated out of them. Of course they would. They were robbed of the belts. They're the heels, so they're going to say they were. They've still got their singles titles. Steve Austin's still the world champion. Triple H is the Intercontinental champion. This changes nothing, just because we don't have those tag belts. It changes nothing. We'll get them back eventually. And then the Brothers of Destruction come out, and just to kind of counteract their promo, really, and just to sort of say, just because you no longer have those belts doesn't mean our feud is over. We want you in the ring. I want that. Undertaker says to Steve Austin, I want that championship belt around your waist, and it's going to be around my waist. So all good. 85 overall, and the storyline gained heat, which is really, really what we just need to get as much heat as we can out of those stories. Let's go to our main event. 83. Not too shabby. Not too, could have been worse. I'm a little bit disappointed the match suffered a lack of psychology. Yeah, okay. Shame. But 83 isn't bad. Wrestling of 91, crowd 82. We had superb wrestling and great heat. Triple H defeated Chris Benoit in 15 minutes 37 by pinfall following interference from Kurt Angle. Well, yeah, we haven't seen Kurt Angle for the whole show. He is currently feuding with Chris Benoit, and he is obviously biding his time and thought, I'll wait till the end of the show and just have him. Triple H makes defense number 1 of the Intercontinental title. The storyline between Chris Benoit and Kurt Angle advanced. There was no didn't gain or lose heat though. What do we get overall for the show? I'm hoping for a really good one here. 85, yeah, that's good. That's really good. Increased our popularity in 4 regions. Couple of little could have gained popularity in a few other regions, but they were limited by lack of viewers. And we had different sort of range, a very wide range of angles, which obviously helps. 85 is decent. Let's have a look at the injury review. We had a couple. Had one cauliflower ear, 6 days. That's nothing. Financial report. We made just over $500,000 in profit for this episode of Raw. Popularity recap. Where did we gain? Okay, Central Europe and a couple of areas in Australasia or Oceania, if that's what you call it. Yeah, that's okay. Emails then, just a quick one to say that the Big Boss Man is now fully recovered from his injury. Drug test fees, Raw's rating or viewership. Crash Holly needs time to heal. Stephen Richards is injured. Yeah, we know about that one. Okay. We just have a quick look at the... Actually, no, I'm not going to have a look at the roster. I want to keep a couple of things a surprise. So, no, I'm not going to show you the roster because there might be a name or two in there that I don't want you to know just yet. So, in that case, I guess the episode's over. I won't be showing you anything backstage. Yeah, I think it's quite a biggie, actually. So, I'll just keep it a little bit secret. There's a couple more guys coming into the WCW stable. There's also a couple of guys that are being recruited by the WWF. That's all I will say at the moment. Hope you've enjoyed this one. Please give a like and subscribe. Take care of yourselves. Goodbye.